What's up, guys? I'm Alejandro.
And I'm Robert Gerald Collings.
And my name is Nicholas.
Welcome back to Alvin and the Chipmunks, but we're all Simons.
Today we're going to talk about agenda-driven media production. There's a few things we want to cover, ranging from a Mormon production company to some questionable news groups, so make sure to stay tuned to the end. So to get started, let's talk about a few key concepts. First, what is power in the media? So it's basically the idea that all media pieces have underlying reasons for why they're made, who they represent, and who can access them. Every media text, whether it's a news report or a movie, is created with a specific perspective. The questions we need to ask ourselves are what ideas are being represented and who's behind them. And all of this ties into a core media theory called the agenda setting theory. This theory basically says that the media we consume has a powerful influence on our beliefs. The media doesn't tell us what to think, but it's very effective at telling us what to think about. By deciding which issues to cover and how much attention to give them, media outlets set the public's agenda. This is how they exert power over their audience.
Alright, so Microsoft and National Broadcasting Company, also known as MSNBC, is this news network where political commentary prioritizes everything else, with hosts having strong viewpoints and the station as a whole viewing issues from an opinionated lens, specifically catering to a liberal audience. The news presented reinforces the viewer's existing political views, creating a partisan echo chamber.
A partition echo chamber. Robbie, what are you talking about? What is that?
It's a closed system in which a person's political beliefs are repeated and reinforced by exposure to like-minded sources. Continuing on, the network asserts itself as a direct counterpart to conservative media. This further pushes animosity between America's two major parties.
So the company is called Angel Studios, and they are owned by a group of Mormons, and they're based in Utah. The setting, of course, tells a lot about the ideology. Religious people guided towards traditional values, right? And this correlates a lot towards what they actually do. They started with a website called Feed Angel, and you know how Mormons, like, they're really committed towards chastity, and Feed Angel is a platform where you can basically avoid watching any type of sexual or violent content from a movie. But hold on, it gets to a point that you can just avoid to have people kissing in the movies, and like it feels like a soft censorship that just portrays everything else. And I mean, of course, it's something optional because you just pay for it, but apparently it was a pretty popular website because they made a lot of money that allowed them to just start distributing films that would, of course, align with their ideologies, because at the beginning they would just distribute a bunch of religious movies. The most important piece I want to discuss about this studio is a show called Title Twins. And the synopsis is just a Cuban grandmother that can travel in time with her wheelchair, and she just takes her grandchildren around time. But what they do with this TV show is pretty much take the grandchildren, right, to events and portray them with a clear bias. For example, they interact with Karl Marx and they just make him look like an idiot. Despite whatever you think about his theories, he was a pretty important person in history. And it goes the total opposite towards the right people. They portray them as pretty clever people, which of course they can do, but there shouldn't be such a clear bias, because the bad thing is this show is for kids, so you're just inciting kids to believe these things. And the worst part is that, as we portrayed in David Angel, this was something optional, but we can use one of the terms and questions that Power in the Media discusses, and is, who has access to this? Well, Argentinian President Javier Milei, who clearly is also a far right politician, he bought this TV show and made it for public TV. So basically, anyone that has a television at home in Argentina is going to be able to watch this. And as a free TV, is something that a lot of kids will be watching. So we're just basically correlating those who have power to produce are putting directly their deals, and those who align their deals are able to just put this in public TV and start inserting their ideologies into children. But this Subtle Twins is the last production by Angel Studios, and it shows us a progression within the company, because as we see, they started just distributing religious films, and as they started producing, they started to put more of their ideology into it, and it just feels kind of like propaganda. These are what they're gonna do next. We don't know. It is expectable that maybe through the pattern that we discussed, as they earn more power, they can keep doing stuff that keeps portraying their ideology. And as we explore through the other two cases, individuals that lead companies have a lot of power regarding what is shown in media. So I think, of course, this would work as a conclusion to today's episode. Alejandro, Robbie, you guys want to add anything else?
So to wrap this up, let's address some of the big questions. First, do those in power influence what is watched? The answer is a clear and resounding yes, whether it's Sinclair pushing a conservative narrative through local news, MSNBC shaping the national political dialogue with a liberal lens, or Angel Studios indoctrinating children through entertainment. These institutions use their power to push their own agendas. Second, what is the difference between art and propaganda? So the line gets blurry, but as we saw with Angel Studios, it comes down to intent. While all art is political, propaganda is a specific type of media created with the explicit purpose of persuading an audience toward a particular ideological point of view, often by presenting information in a biased or misleading way. Finally, what is the representation like? These three examples show that the media we consume isn't just representing a group, it's actively shaping one. It's creating a world where it's okay for media to be partisan and agenda-driven, from the news we read to the shows our kids watch. That was agenda-driven media production. I hope everyone enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next episode of
Alvin and the Chipmunks, but we're all Simons.